The WWC, what the world is watching.
All right, yeah, let's get into this, the free-to-play talk a little bit, right? Because I know, God, my phone line in Discord in the game has been lighting up, and you guys have been lighting me a fire about this stuff. Appreciating me talking about this stuff. So I'd love to talk about it. Let's talk about one reason why we have this disparity with the whales. This is honestly whale versus free-to-play low spender conversation. Let's not pretend it's anything different. I don't want to paint everybody into the box. I don't want to say every single free-to-play player. I'm not going to say every low spender. I'll let you guys speak. What I'm hearing from all of you is that I'm touching on the nerve, asking me to continue to talk about it. And so I'm going to, because I couldn't believe in this more. What I really think is happening, when we talk about this free-to-play low spender, no one thinks that you're ever going to catch a VIP 18. You're not necessarily even trying to catch somebody like me who's a VIP 17, right? You're trying to keep up with low spenders. You're trying to keep around mid-spender area. That's what you're trying to do. That's it. To be in those fights. Maybe to get the wrong team. Maybe like they have a missile and you have a strong tank, and that strong tank could beat maybe a 5 million team stronger than you. You want a chance. When you use protectors during the season or you use your battle cards, you want a chance to do something, okay? So let's be realistic of what we're talking about and why I firmly believe if we keep coming out with stuff, if we keep pushing, then that disparity, not the whales disparity from where I am, and not the VIP 18 disparity, which already exists between me and them, which I don't care about. What we're talking about is the disparity of you sitting at 55 million and your next player that you're looking at is at 60 million or 65 million. And then they drop something new that player can spend on. That low spender, mid spender can spend on, that is now going to make that gap 15 million, 20 million. And you're literally going to be left in the dust, right? And that's really a divide there. I've talked about this. Low spenders in my mind are like $50 or less a month is around a low spender. Low spenders, for the most part, aren't very far from a free-to-play player. I've talked about this. Like a free-to-play player, granted, you guys are very busy and active during the week. You play things, you get all the digs, you're very active to get all the rewards that are for free, and the rallies, you're getting stuff, and you don't miss your arms races. You're like programmed to make sure you do the best there. If you had an orange juicer, a free-to-play player is very good at getting all the juice out of that orange before you throw, right? So when you look at a low spender doesn't necessarily, some do, some don't. Again, I'm just generalizing. I'm not saying everyone, but generally, a low spender doesn't want to have to squeeze out the orange. They want to just squeeze the orange regularly and leave the little bit of pulp and throw it out and not have to do it. They don't have time to do it. They don't have time to necessarily be around for every single dig or play the game at that level. Sometimes they're a little bit, and sometimes by them spending and getting the advantage of doing stuff, they got the leg up because they actually spend. They do a $5 pack here and there. They're getting the battle pass here and there. So they can make up a little bit. And the ones that are very active that do juice that extra orange, those are getting a big jump. But a lot of low spenders are in cruise control. They're on cruise control with it. They're like, game's not my life. So that's why when I talk about it, I kind of group them together, because I really feel like they're in the same spot. When we get into mid spenders have an enormous advantage. When you talk about spending, if you're spending over $50 a month on this game, and you have a big leg up on the free-to-play low spenders, and that's why you're not in the same conversation, although you'd benefit from the rest, you'd benefit from the break as well. You will, because you also have a lot to do. You also are having that separation from the high spenders that really has taken over. Like, it's also been kind of big too. But at the same level, come on. You can't. Free-to-play and low spender are definitely in their own bucket. So what is it when we talk about not wanting them to catch up? And I'll tell you one of the things that we're talking about. If you notice, majority of people, we have something in common. I don't know if you've even noticed this or this escaped you. But we have something in common, whether you're free-to-play, you're low spend, you're mid-spend, you're high spend, or you're VIP 18. We're all completing our tech. Now, the VIP 18s have completed tactical. I don't mean every single VIP 18, but the top of the tops have that at 100%. The only way they get to that level is buying valor. The only way they do it. They had to buy valor. Because they can't collect that. Anybody who's seen how much this is, I mean, come on. There's no way you're going to get down here. And this is like between the resources and the valor itself you're starting at 3,000. Right? So if you're a VIP and you're sitting here and you've already bought all this valor, you spent all this money and you're here, do you really want people to keep chipping away and catching you? I don't buy valor. And here I am, slowly but surely, catching up. Slowly ticking, tick, 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 tick. As are you, by the way. As are you. So all of these people have spent a lot of money on valor. Whose fault is that, though? The game creates things, and people spend money in a hurry to max it, to prove they can. They want to prove something. So why should the entire game fall and blame free-to-play and low spenders for at the speed that they're going? The more the game makes something obnoxious, the more people go out there and complete it at the fastest rate. The game has to limit the amount of bond badges people can buy. They limit it. Then they can only do weekly, and they can only do it here and there. That's the only reason right now that everybody hasn't complete, not everybody, but you know what I mean. The VIP 18s aren't down here with Ultimate Overlord because they've limited it. They won't let them do it all at once. The game's trying to drag it out. Listen, if we're only going to determine our speed of this game based on how people are at the speed at which people are going to buy, there's already an end. People are going to leave because they can't keep up. So as much as you make it out there like people don't understand what's happening, like in the older servers, the newer servers or whatever, I think people understand exactly what the hell is going on around here. I don't think people are naive. I think they know exactly what's going on. I'm just saying it out loud. They know what the hell is going on. You're being outpriced. I mean, is it going to end? Really? No. 5,000 people leave this server right now. 500 people leave this server that I'm in. I mean, I could still be here playing the game by myself in the server. It's not like the game doesn't end. Then they'll just keep combining them and combining them. Because think about what they're doing in the game to preserve the game. You can already see what they're doing, right? What they're truly trying to do is have the people in the newer servers catch up. So that way, in case everybody decides to quit, they can just keep stockpiling new people into the servers with the people that already spent and keep mixing it in, right? They're still growing the game insanely. I talked about it when I started this. It was 2,190. We talked about this when we first started. They're still getting people to come into this game at the same clip of when I started 2 years ago. So to think that this game isn't going to continue, but the point still remains that there's an end on the horizon if you continuously lose because the word gets out. More free-to-play players are playing the game. The more it continues to happen, the more you start alienating the people, the more the word gets out, and eventually you just kill the game. So before we go down that road and before we start killing the game, there's 100% stuff that we can do. There's a game if you want. Number one, don't do anything because you don't need to. That's the first thing. We've talked about this. Just have season 6 and move on. You don't need to do anything right now. We've got enough. And to act like people don't have anything to work on is crazy. Like I've said, I'm a VIP 17. I have plenty to work on. Tech is something endlessly. Everybody agrees on. I said it's like the biggest, it's like the thing we all agree on. You know what I mean? It's like the thing that can bring us all together. All together in unison, regardless who does anything, whether you play the game, you create content, whatever you do, everybody agrees. We want non-valor tech. Everybody wants it. So give it to us. What is so hard? Create a whole nother tech tree. It's not that difficult. And I've also given the suggestion, give a separate tech tree to engineers. Allow free-to-play low spenders to start building and becoming a different role of how they can play. other than just smashing a 55 million into a 100 million building. If you're an engineer, let them do specific things that only engineers can be, that only that tech tree does, and make those things be incredibly valuable to the game. So they're necessary. So strategically now, you want to use free-to-play low spender players who want to be engineers, who build that way. And then you give a war, and then also, by the way, you have a war leader tree. So you don't have a bunch of strong people who are VIP teams and different people. You don't have them going to the engineer tree. You have them going, oh shit, I have to be a war leader because how else am I going to get more strength over here and blah, 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 blah. Oh my God, they have to be it, right? And you don't let them complete both. You let them choose, kind of like an old school role-playing game, if you will. You pick your character, right? And you start your journey and you live with that decision and you can't go back. You can't switch. You are that character. Or you have to hit a reset button and you to do something else. Like you have to be that character. So if you're an engineer, you start going down that tree and you give them incredibly valuable things that only they can do, that only they have the ability to do. How about like being able to build advanced teleports? How about that? How about you let them build their own gear in the gear shop? Only engineers, by the way. They can create blueprints somehow with material that you give. Right? You let them spend and collect diamonds so only engineers can buy skins. Engineers, if they save on some ungodly amount, let them save 100,000 diamonds or something crazy. Time you can give a free to play that doesn't infringe on the people that necessarily bought. These people aren't close. Stop pretending like they're close. They're not. They're not bumping up against the pay-to-play players. There's a big disparity. So give them ability to do things with the engineer role. But I know that when they create things and they take things like these events and they put out something like Street Rush and they give us the same exact course, it just feels like recycled product. How could you get behind that? Makes it very difficult with all the good things that we talk about and the great decisions that we have and we play. Listen, and guys, I can't tell you how positive I've been about. Everybody knows that you're here right now. You know how much I love this game. I do this Sundays. I do this on Mondays. I do this on Wednesdays. We're here with lives. I'm helping people all day. I'm taking requests. I don't collect money on Discord for improvements for people that want help, people that want team help. I don't want your money. I don't want your bricks. I just want to help you. You have a question? Who the hell am I? Of course I'll answer it. I mean, like there's answers to the question and the equation here, and I don't think it's about necessarily acting like people aren't smart. People don't have YouTube and see what's going on out in the crest and know what's going on with the other servers and know what the hell's happening. You see what's happening to the poor people that are OGs. You see what's going on with them being trapped in their servers and they need to let them out, let them free. Let them combine with the next grouping of servers. I mean, this stuff is obvious, guys. This isn't brain surgery to figure out how to fix some of these things. Let the people out. They've done their time. You don't need to be in solitary confinement. You want a testing audience? You have it. Use 190, do 3 through 196. You have us. Go ahead. We have a responsibility. We started playing this game together. We're a few days apart. We all know. We'll be your test dummies. It's okay. Sign it up. It's kind of part of being a beta tester. You get the stuff first. Sometimes it sucks and you live with it. It's okay. It's part of the deal. You get to say, aha, I'm an OG. I've been here. But then you know what? At least do it together. Don't trap a small little grouping over on there and have them all quit and let out because you want a sample size of like 40 people to poke and test like a bunch of test dummies. Just let them in here and let them enjoy the game. They can come into our servers. We can populate and have a good time. Yeah. And I don't know, like, what's the answer? We have a lot of dead servers. We have a lot of stuff going on. I can tell you, though, the answer isn't to combine these servers where you should take a server and combine it, for example, into 118. Somebody like Doberman, who, by the way, we'll have on at some point, too, to talk about it. That guy's been building this server since Season 2. he's been cultivating and having people who don't want to be here move on and take in specifically a lot of people that want to be here. He's cultivated an environment that's here, that people that want to fight, that want to hear, that want to be here. So to take a server and just like not give them the option, just say, hey, guess what? You're moving into 118. Here you go. Take 100 people that are dead accounts or that don't want to play the game. We don't know what else to do with them, so we're gonna put them on your lap. What? How does that make sense? And by the way, did you ask those people if they wanted to move? Because maybe they don't want it. Maybe they want to just sit on whatever server and just camp out and do shit. They don't want to do anything. They don't want the pressure on them. They don't want people to yell at them and burn them because they didn't participate one afternoon because they happened to have a baptism to go to their godparent on, so they couldn't make the war that you want. You got life stuff going on. Maybe they don't want it. Maybe they don't want the lifestyle. Maybe they just want to play the game on their little quiet server where they are. Leave them alone. I say leave them alone. I mean, with all the stuff we're talking about, is that really the problem we're working on? That's what we're pointing at and saying is the number one? No. Listen, the problem here is that we've given too much stuff all at once. We've gotten the money through the exclusive weapons and the Overlord. We came out with the T11s. There's a lot of stuff. There's chips. There's a lot of things that cost a lot of money to do in this game. And there's plenty of money being pumped in. We see it all the time. 2,190. So we don't need to do anything. That's the bottom line. And we keep talking about it, and we'll continue to talk about it as a subject. And somebody listens, they listen. If they don't, they don't. We didn't start this. We didn't start this account to sit here and be on a government panel to try to be on the committee of a developer. We'll keep fighting the good fight on the improvements that need to happen in the game. QB18 out.
Damn!